Hello, hello. We are live. It is Direct Mail Monday, September 9th, 2019, 9/9/19. And I'm dipping into my mailbox for this free information that was sent to me by the Perillo Tours company. Perillo Tours Travel Company. You might have seen the TV commercials. Steve Perillo, I think is his name. Steve Perillo comes out. I think his father started the business. I first started seeing Perillo Tours TV commercials a generation ago, I think. But Steve Perillo, I think that's his name. He comes out and he's got 30 seconds. Do you think in 30 seconds he's going to tell you to send him $12,000 for a 10-day cruise around Europe? Actually, I shouldn't, be surprised at that question. That's what most business owners do. Hopefully it's not what you do, or hopefully after this video it's what you used to do. But that's what most business owners do, is they attempt to convert the lead into a sale. Boom. But the best way to make, especially a big ticket sale, especially if it's an intangible and a cruise or a travel trip, even though it's something physical going on, it's basically an intangible sale. You're selling your dream trip, your dream cruise, your once in a lifetime, your bucket list. It's intangible. It's not something they really can put a finger on. So hopefully you're not trying to make that sale in 30 seconds or even 5 or 10 minutes. This goes back to people that know, if you follow my videos or you know me, you know that I was in the door-to-door sales industry for 9 years. And that's what a door-to-door salesman does. Maybe you've had back in the day, the Fuller Brush salesman came to the door, or the Avon lady came to the door, or a vacuum cleaner salesman, or anybody else. They did a combination of information and education, the best ones did, before they gave you the killer close, the pitch to actually buy the product. And, well, don't do it now. Wait till after you're watching this or listening to this or reading it or wherever you are, but go onto the computer and check out I'm sure it's all over YouTube.com, and check out Kenny Brooks. Some hilarious videos from Kenny Brooks, door-to-door salesman, selling his magic cleaner, spray, whatever. And there is information and entertainment both put together. So infotainment, as I call it, where he is, of course, telling them about the product, and he's doing a demonstration, but he's also cracking all kinds of jokes and being all kinds of entertaining. Even while he does the demo, you'll see all kinds of entertaining things going on. And then, of course, people are going to say, of course, I'll give you the 40 or 50 bucks or whatever. That's the cover charge for the show. I used to hear all the time for sales days. They go, man, you're funny. Like doing stand-up comedy. Standard answer was always, yeah, that's what I do. And the cover charge is $10, and I give you this calculator or this teddy bear or whatever I was selling, $5 for this or whatever. That's, again, a joke I would make. So I always, it'd be pretty boring to me. I'm sure you might have been pitched or been presented to by the boring pots and pan salesman, the boring encyclopedia salesman, the boring any kind of salesman, but hopefully they were entertaining while they were giving you the information. Why not? Well, especially nowadays, we're totally spoiled. 500 TV channels and endless YouTube, millions going and social media. People we know or people we've heard of coming by, and we'd be entertained anytime. Who's the salesperson to be in the mode of entertaining and not just being dry and boring and giving information? Can a travel company that wants to book a $10,000 or $20,000 cruise, if it's for two, it could be $20,000 or more, for a 2-week cruise around in Europe, you really want to try and sell that in 30 minutes. They want to be entertaining. They want to be informative. So they're going to do what's known as step marketing. The first step is they get the lead. They get you to let them know who you are and how you can be contacted. So name, address, phone number, email, whatever it is they get. They get some information for you, and in return, they give you something of value, which in this case signals that you are a potential buyer, that you are a prospect for the service. So millions of people watching a TV show, and when the Perillo Tours, Steve Perillo comes on and says, I'll give you my free brochure and a free gift card and a free guide and a free whatever to take in your dream trip to wherever, Italy, Europe, whatever he says. Of course, it's not millions of people that call on the phone. Only the people call who are interested in possibly taking the trip. And I do this myself. I'm on many mailing lists, as you see from watching my Direct Mail Monday videos, and you should be also. It's your marketing education. Hopefully you're watching infomercials and getting on mailing lists of smart marketers and smart advertising companies. And that's the best way to learn, and then to model what they're doing for you. And that's what we're going to take a look at this. But so I don't get on every mailing list. I don't, to me, it'd just be unethical to have them, mail me $10 or $20 at cost of their stuff if I'm absolutely not interested in what they're selling. So, of course, my beautiful wife, Michelle, and I would likely someday, we've talked about it, taking her dream trip to Europe and this and that and the Eiffel Tower and whatever she wants to do. So that's something of interest. So even though that's weeks, months, years away from happening, when a TV commercial comes on, Steve Perillo says, I'll send you all kinds of free information about traveling all over Europe. I'm like, that sounds good. So I called up the number, and I've been on their mailing list for years. And every year, I think it is, or maybe a couple of times a year, they're mailing me their new brochure. So this one arrived, Perillo Tours, and you can see right away they're having a little fun and entertainment right away. Cute little doggy on the cover. Ciao, I'm Romeo. Please open this envelope for the trip of your dreams. Perillo, being Italian, so we have a little speaking Italian there. Ciao, with an Italian name, or Romeo. Please open the envelope. So how can we resist the cute little fluffy doggy? We're going to open the envelopes. Let's see what we got. Now, by the way, again, I've been on this mailing list for a couple of years, so of course I have an idea what we're getting. And this is a package that is put together by somebody like me that knows what they're doing. So if this is something you think could work in your business, you want to get an expert in direct mail, marketing, advertising to put together the package for you. This one's pretty simple. It's 5 pieces, all in full color. Nice, glossy, high-quality stuff. What even the paper you print stuff on says that's your ambassador about you and your company. Is it cheap and crappy? Then the first reflection, the first idea, the first impression of your company by your prospect is, they're cheapo. When I give out gifts, I like to give nice gifts. I like to give out Godiva chocolates instead of, nothing personal, but instead of Hershey chocolates or whatever run-of-the-mill, chocolates you can get out of the supermarket, the cheapest. I always got the high-quality stuff, and then I was able to tell my prospects, I could have sent you any old chocolate, but not all chocolates are the same, and not all of blank people, of whatever I was selling. Not all attorneys are the same. Not all plumbers are the same. Not all whatever you are, the marketer of whatever services, are not the same. And right away they get the message. It's a great analogy. Like, I see, right. Every other plumber is like your typical Hershey, Nestle, whatever run-of-the-mill chocolate. You are like the Godiva of the industry. So right away they get that inference, especially if you say that line when you give it to them. So first we have the letter. Yeah, there it is, Steve Perillo. So we have Steve Perillo, the CEO, proudly promoting himself. Hopefully you're doing the same. I go to so many About Us pages on websites, and they don't even say the name of the owner of the company. You're missing out on a big part of your sales message, which is your personality, your story. People like doing business with people, not with impersonal companies. So, if you're watching this, you're likely a small business owner, and you're not the CEO of Apple, okay? Because then what happens is, let's say you own a A restaurant. Well, people like doing business with people. So they can go to McDonald's and it's McDonald's. But if they go to a local restaurant, they like, hey, the owner greets them at the door or comes out from the kitchen or seats them at their seat or walks around and says hello to people, or the stories on the back of the menu about how the husband and wife took their grandmother's recipes from the old country and started this restaurant 42 years ago, and then the kids took over and whatever. People like doing business with people. Don't hide yourself. Do like Steve Perillo does right there on the TV commercials. He comes right out and says, I'm Steve Perillo. And then right on the letter, I'm Steve Perillo. And then he signs it on the back, Steve Perillo. Now, if you are camera shy, you're like, well, I don't like how I sound or how I look on the video. Number one, think of me. Do I sound or look good on video? Of course not. So get over it. Or if you really can't get over it, then you can hire someone to be the spokesman and say, I am so-and-so for Perillo Tours. But that spokesman ought to have a story and a personality. Even if you use a cartoon for it. Charlie the Tuna, Smokey the Bear, Tony the Tiger. Okay, so the CEO of Kellogg's doesn't come out. Tony the Tiger comes out. Okay, so you can do that too. You can have a spokesperson, an employee, a customer. You can have Jared from Subway. You can have a customer be your spokesperson. You can have a cartoon be your spokesperson, but have someone or something, if it's inanimate, but have a personality, a name. People like buying from people, from personalities. So he's talking about different trips that are going to Italy, Spain, Hawaii, and groups. And then there's an offer with a promo code that I can save some money on, whatever. And then I guess those are going to be the 4 brochures: Italy, Spain, Hawaii, and the group tours. Or maybe this last one is, well, this last one is Italy. So we've got Italy and then ItalyVacations.com. Interesting. So besides PerilloTours.com, they have ItalyVacations.com. Very smart. You two should, of course, have multiple websites. You know, if you have a brick and mortar store, you only get one address. But even a supermarket or any store knows they have separate sections. A bookstore has lots of different sections. A grocery store has all the different aisles are numbered, and they're grouped by types of food. The chips are in aisle 12, and right next to an aisle 11 are the sodas on the other side. They're grouped together. Well, the online version of that is having multiple websites so that you can have sections of your business. So here they got ItalyVacations.com, and maybe they have SpainVacations.com. I haven't looked at it that closely in a while. They're celebrating their 75th year in business. So they have a nice little seal there, 75 years. And there it is. They have their brochures. Again, there's Steve Perillo. This is a Hawaii thing, I guess. So he's wearing the lei. And they talk about their team. You also want to celebritize your team and your employees, tell their story, have their smiling faces. You know, anyone that someone's going to come in contact to, they call on a phone or a sales rep or customer service or anyone, put a face and a story to it. People like doing business with people. So then they have this whole big fold-out color brochure. So we can sit down, my beautiful wife and I look it over, and we can see a 9-day, here's a 10-day, a 4-day, a 7-day. Here's all the dates. Here's all the costs. Here's some of the cities that they fly from. So they have all these details in here. Of course, they haven't gone to the prices until first. They have entertained and educated you. So the edutainment. So you got some cool pictures, photos, stories, and the same thing for Spain, the same thing for Italy. So it's pretty simple. You put together the package, and when you put together one of these, you want to think, or you hire someone who knows what they're doing like me to put it together for you. They're going to ask you a question and say, well, what would you say to someone if they came into your travel agency and were in person right in front of you? How would the conversation go? You would say, hi, how are you doing? My name is Steve Perillo. I'm the owner of this travel agency, and where are you thinking of going? Do you have any idea where you might like to go? And then if they say, well, I'm thinking I might like to go to Spain, would you then say, Spain? What about Italy? I don't think so. I think then you would say, oh, okay, Spain. Well, what would you like to know about it? Have you been there before? Great, then let me show you some photos of it, like what activities do you like to do? And then these brochures are going to approximate that kind of conversation. It's going to be full of what activities you would like to do. So here we have pictures of taking that horse-drawn carriage, or watching the flamenco dancing, or bullfighting, or going around seeing sightseeing, or going up in the mountains, going to the ocean, see the different hotels. You can stay in a hotel that's got a big pool, or you can stay in one that's in the ocean. You can stay in an old stately manor. You can stay in a more modern thing, in the mountains, by the seaside. That's because they have to, when you do one of these, the person is not in front of you, and you've kind of got to answer everyone's question. So if you say, where would you prefer to stay, in the mountains or right on the ocean? You have to be prepared and answer either one with the photos. So 4 choices of hotels. They'll pick one out and go, honey, we really like that one. Look how it's in the mountains. We like that. Or look how it's on the ocean. We like that. And then you got a 15-day trip here. So day 1, depart USA for Spain, ! Now you're doing the sales pitch. Day 2, Thursday, arrive in Madrid, panoramic sightseeing, dinner in the hotel, and the whole, telling the story. Now this seems like, wow, that's a lot of stuff to write, Steve. I'm not a professional copywriter. Sure. Well, you can hire a professional copywriter, but they're going to ask you all the questions to pull all this out of you anyway, because you all have it inside. Because again, the thought process is, what would I say to someone if they were right in front of me? So maybe record your top salesperson, or if that's you doing the sales, record a few sales pitches so you can listen, play it back, and have it transcribed. Here's what I say. And the reason I say a few, because you're going to get different objections and different questions within a few of them. And then you can put all that in here too. So you might just say, upon arrival, your tour director will be waiting to greet you. We're pleased to offer complimentary transfers from the airport to your hotel. It's a short 10-mile ride from the airport to the hotel. Did they ask? Just in case they ask, how long's the ride? You put that in there. Not everyone's going to ask. Maybe they won't even ask, do I have to pay for those transfers? See, so they could have just said, upon arrival, your tour director will be waiting to greet you. And then he'll lead you to the hotel. Well, how do I get there? Oh, well, we offer free transfers from the airport to the hotel. Well, how far is it? Well, it's a short 10-mile ride from the airport to the hotel. So by recording your or your best salesperson's sales presentation, you will come out with the copy to put this all together and explain what it is and answer the questions and go into the details. And then I got all the legal mumbo jumbo here, known as the T&C, the terms and conditions. This whole thing is ready to make the sale. Once you go through all this, you have a virtual salesperson in writing, and you can do this on the computer with videos, in addition to photos, in addition to all the fine print, the information, click here for the terms and all this kind of stuff. And then at the end after showing you all this stuff, there it is at the end, they will start to talk about the pricing. And what do we got? Different pricing for different weeks of the year, from $35.95 all the way up to $4,050. It's not a big range, so it's only about a $500 difference depending on the year. I don't know if I'd go through the trouble of being so particular about all the different rates when it's only a few $100 difference, but okay. 12 days, 10 nights, 4 days, 3 nights, centrally located 4- and 5-star hotels, buffet breakfast daily, 5 lunches, 7 dinners with wine, beer, or soft drink, paella cooking class, visit to winery with sherry tasting, visit to olive oil farm and oil thing. They're going to go through the whole thing just like a salesman would, door to door. If he knocked on the door and said, hi, I'm from a travel agency. Have you ever thought about traveling on a dream trip? Oh yeah, come on in, let's talk about it. Great. He would show photos, he would tell stories, he would answer the questions, then he'd present the pricing, and then you'd say yes or no. So it's really a simple package here. Take a few of the brochures that again are just approximating a conversation between the salesperson and the prospect, and you start with a cover letter saying, hi, here are the 4 guides that are included, and by the way, call and mention this code, we'll even give you an extra discount. It's pretty simple. And that gets mailed out every few months or once a year to anyone who's on your list. You can scrape the list. You can cull people off the list after a certain amount of time and say, you know, gee, I've been mailing them stuff, you know, this cost me, you know, $15 to mail this out to each person. Of course, they book the tours, I make thousands of dollars, but, you know, it costs me every year, and let's pull some people off the list if they've been on for, say, X number of years or X number of months or X number of weeks. It all depends on whatever business you're in. I'm going to pull them off the list. To me, I've been on this thing for years, and I think they're very smart to keep sending it to me, because another thing that happens is when you use direct mail, people receiving it know it. So if you've ever received direct mail, you know it, and at least subconsciously, one of the feelings you get is, wow, they're spending money on me. And at least subconsciously, you appreciate that, as opposed to all their competitors who are just saying, click here. They could have said, I'm Steve Perillo on the TV commercial, and go to this website, perillotours.com. And then I might have clicked away in 2 seconds and see it. But in this way, the more of these, the longer they keep me on the mailing list for years and years. And then when my beautiful wife, Michelle, and I decide, let's take that dream trip to Italy, and let's go see the Colosseum, and let's go see the Leaning Tower of Pisa before it falls over, and let's see Venice before it floods, and whatever. Well, it's certainly, we might not necessarily automatically go with Perillo Tours, but it's certainly going to be their sale to lose. They're the first ones. We're going to say all that goodwill. You know, for years they've been mailing them all that stuff, and we sit down and we enjoy it every time. We look and we talk and we dream a little bit and ask some questions, and we kind of say, you know, which one would we like better, and would we go for 7 days or 14 days, and would we like the mountain or the seaside, and blah blah blah. You know, eventually they keep sending us the stuff to get that reciprocity, that they've done something for us, we are going to do something for them, which again is not just to automatically stroke a check for 15 grand or whatever, but at least we're going to give them the first shot to make that sale to go with them, as opposed to people that did not treat us that well over those years. They didn't send us their stuff. They didn't answer all our questions. They didn't have a personal note from the CEO treating us like one of the family. That's kind of feelings, direct mail done right. That's what it does. So if you want help with any of this, should have mentioned earlier, for those of you that had to jet off early, go to helpfromsteve.com. And just like I just talked about, that doesn't mean right away you're paying me money. That means first I will educate and entertain you. So I'll give you some infotainment, give you some information, help you out. We'll have some fun. Maybe I'll crack a couple of bad jokes. Maybe I'll just email you a photo of me so you can laugh at that. Whatever it is, we'll have some fun. You'll get a lot of entertainment. I'll help you out with your direct mail or anything else. We just talked about sending people to a website, video, copywriting, anything I talked about here or anything on any of my videos. You can go to helpfromsteve.com. We'll have some fun on the call. You'll learn something. You'll get some actionable money-making information. And then if you want down the road, possibly, we will discuss working further together so you can make a ton more money. But anyway, that's it. Helpfromsteve.com is where you go if you want more help. Otherwise, check back here tomorrow. It'll be Topical Tuesday. That's the day, one day of the week, where I pull something that's topical. It's on people's minds, in the news, something that's happening. And I share a business lesson from that. So we'll have some fun tomorrow. Thanks for being here today. Thanks for all the likes, shares, questions, comments, concerns. Post them below wherever you're watching or listening to this or reading it or whatever. And I'll catch you back here tomorrow on Topical Tuesday. Thanks for being here today. Over and out. Bye-bye.